Well, hello everybody. We are making Chewbacca's roast beef. I thought I could get it louder than that. Maybe let's try it again. I was going to try and make the sound. I can't do it worth a damn, but this is going to taste good. So let's see what we got. All right. So the first thing we do is get the dog out of the way. And then because the dog gives me anxiety today, since I'm cooking by myself, I'm cooking with a little maker's mark just for fun. So we're going to start off by sauteing our, oh, look, my assistant who doesn't help anymore. We're going to start by putting in some olive oil and sauteing our onions and garlic. The problem is, I wasn't thinking about this. I put everything here together, the potatoes, the onions, and the carrots, forgetting that the onions sauteed by themselves first. So we're going to throw that in. We'll throw these onions in because I'm making a double batch today. And so I made all of the vegetables first so that they're all ready to go. Okay. So the onions and garlic, and then add beef and brown all sides. So because I'm using Lazy Man's garlic, do we have a spatula somewhere, huh?
No.
Okay, we have a problem. We can't cook because we don't have a spatula. As you can tell, if you've been here before, we're remodeling a little bit or repainting the kitchen. So like the wallpaper is gone. I need to find a spatula. Oh, here they are, over here on the other side of the room. Actually, not a spatula, but I found a wooden spoon. It'll work just fine. Right, so we're going to turn this bad boy on saute. It would be easier if it was plugged in. You can tell everything's been moved around. We had to find everything all over again. Because when you're painting, you don't want paint in your food equipment. So we're on saute. We'll get this going. I'll add the garlic when I add the beef because it is the Lazy Man already minced garlic. So the ingredients for this, just so you know, we've got 2 pounds of beef stew meat, and it's chunked into littler, smaller pieces, which they did for us at the store, so Rick doesn't have to do it. The olive oil, the onion, 3 garlic cloves or the minced garlic that I'm using, 3 chopped carrots, 3 or a little more because we like potatoes, and they were really small, so I made a little more of the potatoes. 1 cup of peas, we're using frozen peas for that. 2 cups of beef broth, some tomato paste, thyme, salt, and pepper. So this is a real simple recipe, and it's not going to take that long to cook. And because I'm cooking today by myself, once I get everything going and put it in the Instant Pot, I'm going to pause, and you won't have to sit here and listen to me try and fill. See, how long does this go? 35 minutes while it pressure cooks. You won't have to sit here and listen to me try and come up with something to say. All right, so while we're waiting, I'll get this open, and we'll tell you that if you'd like to know what we're doing in advance and you want to participate, then you'll want to check out our community. You ready? I'm about to give the URL so you can go check it out. And you, because you're watching here, can check it out with a 7-day free trial where you can be a part of this production or you can be a part of our co-prepping session where we do different things to prep for our prepping needs, whether that's cutting up vegetables, making a dish. Sometimes I'm making seasoning packets. I'm trying different sauces and things. That prep time can be used for all kinds of different things. But you're doing it with people, which just makes it a whole lot better. So that URL, I said I was getting it ready. That URL is skool.com, and that's SKOOL, skool.com /meal prep. The regular community is only $10 a month. And once your trial is done, if you wish to continue, it's it's a lot less than the money you're going to save with the recipes that we're giving you. And there's just a lot of benefits in being a part of the community. So we're going to do these. So about 2 minutes with the onions. Then we're going to throw in the sous vide. So let me get that ready. It suggested 3-inch chunks. And that's just to make it easier when we go to shred it. But with the Instapot, these are much smaller than 3-inch chunks, but that's fine. Because with the Instapot, when you go to shred this, you're going to find that it is really super simple. You can just use a fork to pull it apart, or you can throw it in a big pot like I do with my chicken and use the beaters if you really want to be lazy, which I am with chicken, but with the beef, it's just, man, it's amazing how it just makes it so tender and it just falls apart. Just one more of the reasons why I love my Instapot. So if I can get this plastic to give up the ghost here, it'll be ready in just a second when these onions are translucent. I made big chunks of everything. The carrots are pretty good size. The potatoes are good size. The onions are really good size, but we like our vegetables a little bit bigger. You can do it the way you would like. And for this, we're using a white onion today. It seemed to make sense for a roast for us. Starting to smell good. Starting to get a little hungry, but I'm going to have to wait, aren't I? All right. Also going to let you know that next week on Mother's Day, we will not be doing a live, well, on YouTube. It's going to be recorded anyway, but we're not going to be doing a meal on next Sunday. We might do something in place of it. We'll let you know how that goes if that comes about. I have something I was thinking about trying that we would post a couple of days before Mother's Day, which would give you something that you could take. There's Kathy and I really like queso. I'm a big fan of Mexican restaurants, Mexican food. Tomorrow is, as we're recording this, tomorrow is Sunday or Monday, May the 5th, and that happens to be my birthday, where I will be a Beatles song, right? I'll be 64. And there's a Mexican restaurant we go to, and we love their queso. And I found a healthier queso recipe that I really want to try. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to record that for you guys and post it a couple days before Mother's Day in case, hey, who knows? Maybe some queso and some dip would, the dip would be good for you guys at Mother's Day. I know I can use it at mine. So if everything goes as planned, there's a sneak peek to those of you who are watching the show. All right, it's going to take a couple more minutes. This is normally where we would have the banter of our fellow cookers, but today I feel like a big boy who's allowed in the kitchen by himself without supervision. All right, so we're going to add in our beef. Jump in there, beef, making sure that the backing didn't fall in there. We're going to brown that on all sides. So basically, that just means we're going to stir this around a bunch, make sure that it gets cleared. It needed to be broken up a little bit. All right. We'll let that go. While we're doing that, we're going to throw in our garlic. And it calls for 3 garlic cloves. That's probably a tablespoon because it's a teaspoon per garlic clove with the minced. But we like our garlic, so I'll put in a little extra. And because I am making a second batch after this one is done, we're going to leave this out with the spoon so it's ready to go. This is the point of the program where if you have an adult beverage of your choice, feel free to imbibe along with me. Ooh, can't waste it. All right. So stir that garlic in. Beef is starting to brown a little bit. Awesome. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay. So before I got started with this, obviously, I said this already, but just case in point, this is something I'm not usually very good at, and that's reading the recipe all the way through and having a plan of action. This time I did. I looked at it and realized that if I didn't make the vegetables first, I was going to be spending a lot of time with this sitting. It was going to add a lot of time to it. So I did all my vegetables first, cleaned all the potatoes and the carrots, sliced them all up, sliced up the onions. Obviously, I had all the rest of the materials around. I always do that, but I sometimes forget to look at the recipe to see what the order of adding things is, and then I've got to let it sit here and cool off while I chop up the next thing. So now when it comes time for it, all we're going to do is throw everything in the pot that's left, put it on for 35 minutes on high pressure, and then we'll pause the video, take a little break, and come back and show you what it looks like at the end. And since I'm making 2 batches, even easier, because I made all of the vegetables, got them all chopped up front. And make sure I get the pieces that are not done at all on the bottom. So we would love to know what kinds of things you would like to see us make or that you would like to make with us in the future. Because this show is for you guys. Well, I mean, it's partly for me because, oh, wait a minute. We found our first error. Forgot to look at the weight on this. I can't see it. Hold on. Ah, I think I'm supposed to add a packet and a half to this. Yeah, I am. Sorry. So, no biggie. We're just going to add the other half of this package in here. I didn't realize there were 3 packages. I thought there were just 2. So we're going to add this in. It's going to add a little bit more time here, but that's not a biggie. All right. This is one of the reasons why I'm not typically left in the kitchen by myself, and I have help because I tend to miss things. Actually, we have a history on this show of not just myself but others forgetting ingredients or thinking we have something and we don't, and then having to come up with other ways of doing things, which really has been helpful because, well, you realize that perfection isn't the goal. Food we like and save us some money and is good for us is the goal, right? So being a little resilient is not a bad thing. All right. For those of you who are not familiar with school, school is a platform that's all about communities. So, for example, we have the meal prep community there. I have a community that's there for people who want to lose weight. There are communities for walking groups. Mary Ann Jensen, who is on our cooking show and does our co-prepping. She does our co-prepping a lot. Occasionally, she's on our cooking show. Challenge is she's in Denmark, so the time doesn't really work out for her at 3 o'clock Eastern time. She has a walking community. So if you're looking for some accountability and some assistance with having some fun with walking, you have group walks, things like that. Another Marianne has the Kids Craft Club. So for you moms and or dads who wish to have a pre-prepped, pre-planned craft that you can do with your kids, it's a really cool channel. The community is awesome. The projects that she puts out are really creative. I'm still working to do my first one because I'm not very crafty, and well, I don't have any kids to make me do it. So the very first one was a chicken. It was kind of cool. I got it cut out. I got it sort of put together. I'm missing one more step. So the joke now is that my chicken is almost done. But she does a lot of really cool crafts with a purpose that work on different skills and development topics. And there's a coloring page with it. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun to be able to do things with your kids. That's of interest. Yell at me. I can get you the link for that as well. And then for those who are a little more adventurous and wanting more workout things, my friend Stevie has a community that is quite creative. It's called Fantasy Fitness and Food, I believe. I don't know. I'm a member of it, but I'm not sure which way the F's go on that. But Stevie is an interesting person who is into exercising a little bit differently than most of us. She does sword play and maces and axe throwing, and she's training for the zombie apocalypse. So if you love to read fantasy books and you want to do things that are themed along that area, she has a very creative, very interesting community. And one of the things I like about it with her walking is that every other week she has a walking challenge, and it's always very creative, very interesting, lots of fun, and keeps you on your toes. Then we have communities for business building, for finance, for just there's millions of people on this channel or in this platform, and there's probably tens of thousands of communities, and it's really, really cool. If you have questions, just yell. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. All right. The meat is brown. So what is the next thing? It says add everything else. So what else do we have to add? We have to add carrots and potatoes. Hey, I got those right here. I'm going to throw them in. Oop, we lost a carrot. Oh my goodness. 2 carrots. That one went on the floor. We're probably going to leave it alone. All right. There's my carrots and potatoes. Boy, and I got this Instapot right to the top. And then where's my broth? Oh, here's my broth. Where's my cup? Oh, missing. All right, here's my measuring cup because we need 2 cups of beef broth. I like to shake it a little bit first. Broth is another one of those things that we're going to work on making, especially chicken broth. I want to start making my own. Save some money and cut down on the sodium. For some people, that's an important thing. So 2 cups of beef broth. I won't have to measure next time because this has 4 cups. So for my next one, I won't need that. All right, peas. We're using, like I said, the frozen peas. Basically, half of this. Get this carrot off the ground before I kill it. Well, now it's downstairs. All right, hold on. It's basically going to throw in half of this packet. Normally the scissors there. All right, got some over here. All right, bunch of peas. Well, it's peas and carrots, but hey, we already had carrots, not a big deal. Make sure we're not missing anything. 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. Have this little container with what, 6 ounces. So basically, I'm just going to take half of it out. Going to be a little more than a tablespoon, but otherwise, I don't want it to go to waste. So we'll just do that and get it out. Right, save that for later. And then we need a teaspoon of thyme, my least favorite. You had to be part of us to know why this is a problem. 1 teaspoon of thyme. I have had a couple incidences where I put too much thyme and it doesn't taste good when you over time something. All right, and then it says salt and pepper to taste. There it is. So I'm just going to put a teaspoon of each, give or take. So it's easier. I like pepper, so we'll throw some of that in. And yep, that's everything. Just making sure I'm not missing anything. Teaspoon of salt. You can always add more later if we need to. So I'm gonna give that a quick stir to make sure everything's kind of mixed in there. Clump of frozen stuff. Make sure our seasonings are down in there. This is gonna cook down some. So making sure that it's well mixed. And then all I've got to do is set it for 35 minutes on high pressure. And then we do a natural release. So natural release means that you don't turn the release valve, you just let it go by itself. So that'll take 5 to 10 minutes usually. So let's turn that off, turn this back on, and it was 35 minutes, which is a little longer than with beef. It's always a little bit longer than any of our chicken dishes. Turn off the warmer so that it releases the steam faster. And that's all I've got to do. And then when we're done, we divide it into 35-ounce containers. And you can top it with parsley, or for you real Star Trek fans out there, you can use crushed Wookiee crisps, which are fried shallots. I won't be doing that, but I do have some parsley. I normally don't use parsley very much because as a kid, I really hated parsley. But as a kid, there were a few things that I didn't like that I haven't tried as an adult. So we're going to try some parsley and see if maybe that's another one of those things where my taste buds have matured. So we'll be back in about 40 minutes after this is released, and we'll let you see what it's like, and we'll taste test it and tell you if it's worth making. All right, hold on. We'll be right back. Nope, not done yet, but almost. Hang on. Now we can see what we've got. Let me get this opened. There's still some steam in there, but we're going to let it out. Yeah, not a lot. Normally, when you've got a couple cups of liquid in there, it really steams a lot. It smells delicious. But it's been sitting for about 10 minutes. I don't usually let it sit that long on a natural release, but it's about to go. You guys want to be careful around the steam when it's releasing because, well, you know, steam can cause some issues. You get it on your hands and stuff, or in your face. I just hope that it doesn't taste like Chewbacca because I don't think that would be really good. Playing with the safety feature. Don't try this at home. All right, and there we go. It is done, so we can open the lid. Yeah, that's why it was still steaming because it was still boiling. So here's what she looks like. Doesn't that look good? Get all your veggies in there. You got your meat. It is ready to go into a bowl, and let's see what we've got. And then I'll put it into my containers and then start the next batch. And I'm going to have 12 meals ready to go. And these are very freezable. Oh, I don't want to use that one because that had raw meat. So let's use a scooper. I'm just going to get a little up because Kathy's running an errand and I don't want to eat a whole bunch without her. Get myself a little bit of juice, some onion, tater and carrots and peas, and meat, of course. Let's see what we got here. I try it with a spoon so that I can get the juice. The au jus. Yeah, this stuff is super, super hot. Now, it's that, wow, all I did was push on that meat and it shredded apart. I think I'm going to leave this one without shredding the meat. I'm just going to leave it like it is with the chunks. Maybe the next one I'll do that so we have it both ways. But we'll kind of see how it goes as we test this out. Still very hot. So, yeah, it's very good. The thing about with the Instant Pot, when you cook meat, chicken, beef, turkey, it's pushing, it's pressure, so it pushes liquid into the meat, so it just makes it so tender and juicy. The potatoes are perfect. A little more salt next time. I'm sure there's some other seasonings that would work as well, but it is very, very good. The next time I'll also, not this time, not my second batch, obviously, since I've already cut them up, but I would cut the carrots into bigger chunks because they're a little overcooked. They're not bad. They're just, you know, if you put carrots in for a long time, that happens. Everything else is great. So that's our Chewbacca's pot roast. If you try it, please let us know how it goes and let us know what you think of it. If you make any changes to it or you try something that makes it even better, obviously we'd love to know about that because we do like to experiment here at the Simple Meal Prep Show. Remember, you can come check it out, play along with us live, and make this with us, do our co-prepping, and all the other things that go on in our community just by going to school.com/meal prep, where right now, because you're watching this, you also get a 7-day free trial to check us out and see if it's something you want to continue. All right, that's it for today. You guys have a great Mother's Day next week. If you're watching this on May the 4th, be with you. And we'll resume our regularly scheduled in 2 weeks. All right. Bye, guys.